Good morning, everybody. Rubik's Master here with another quick and informative video. This one's going to be about splitting your units of one kind in a platoon into multiple squads. I'm going to run through and show you how they act in both ways, and then I'm going to tell you the positives and negatives of each. If you don't know, if you're running in with all your units in one squad, that could be a very bad thing. You could be running into a lot of trouble that you don't even know about. Okay, so I'm going to run through this with just the standard platoon that generally everyone uses, all S-13s, and I have one Humvee thrown in there just to fill in the extra 50 space. Alright, and it is very early Monday morning, not Monday morning, Tuesday morning. It is 3 o'clock, so heavy vehicle strongholds are still available, so that is what I will be demonstrating this on. Okay, come on, load. Yeah, so we're attacking this base with a full S-13 platoon with all the S-13s in one squad. So what I want you to be paying attention to is how the units are spread out and how they act throughout this entire attack. So deploy, they're all spread out really wide. Then they come in kind of slowly and establish this line. So right here we need to get rid of that helipad before that hind deploys. And then we're just going to sit here, soak up a little damage, lose one of our guys, but take out this tank. Okay, so woo! As you know, in attacking this base, you're trying to take as little damage as possible, so you try and stay out of range of that howitzer, which is really difficult to do with all those units spread out like that. Alright, I'm going to take out that machine gun turret with my Reapers like I normally do. Keep moving, gotta move fast to take as little damage from those mortars as possible. Alright, move in inside their range. Alright. Now, there they go again. They spread out on a wide line, which is good. We don't want them taking too much damage from this Abrams, which does do area damage. So I'm going to show you all something else real quick. Okay, so I'm going to set these guys over here, and you'll see immediately they spread out into a very large formation. It's kind of odd they aren't spread out farther. Normally they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think one of them is double stacked. Not entirely sure. As you can see, they spread out a lot. Anytime they travel any great distance, they spread out to try and not overlap because they're all in the same squad. Squads move, there you go, see? So even with AI on, traveling from one area to another, they spread out. Alright. Oh, come on. Oh well. So as soon as this attack is over, I'm going to switch over and I'm going to divide my S-13s into 2 separate squads of 5. And we're going to do the same attack, and I want you to just look and observe the differences in the behavior. Come on! Excuse me. Like I said, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Only time I've really been able to record. I am looking forward to that event coming out in, well, 2 days from now, I guess. Looking like it's getting back to the roots of the events that were in the original War Commander, which I will admit were a lot of fun. Alright, so do the same attack. with 2 squads of 5. Okay, so starting out, there shouldn't be that much of a difference, apparently. So you place them and you'll notice they are all spread out, but as soon as I set a target, you'll notice that they don't stay as far apart as when they were all in one squad. They're much more ready to bunch together into a group. When they're in separate squads, they don't have the same boundaries as when they're in the same squad. It's more easy to get in there, and I wasn't able to do it that time, but normally I'm able to stay out of range of that mortar. Alright, there we go. So we attack again, and you'll see that these guys, instead of having that huge formation, all the S-13s are double stacking. Makes them a much smaller target, allows them to get through choke points more easily, and allows more of them to reach their location at one time. If you have the formation we saw before, where they're all spread out whenever they try and travel somewhere, it takes longer for all the units to reach where they can attack the same target, which is usually a bad thing. Also, as you saw there, when you split them into two different squads, you can employ different tactics. So now that you see the basics of what I'm saying, well, hold on. You know what? Let's go. Turn the AI off and show some joint movement. Okay, you can see the individual squads themselves have their own space. They all space out evenly when they move, but when you select them all to go to one location, you can see all units in the squad double stack. And when you have them move somewhere, they keep that profile. Okay, so we're just going to turn AI back on and let's go on, and we'll discuss the pros and cons. So, the first one where they're all spread out, we already discussed most of the cons there. They're spread out. It takes longer for all of them to reach the target and start applying all their damage per second. You can't split forces and attack a area damage dealing unit from 2 different angles. You're going to be taking a lot of damage if you attack a area damage dealing unit like a howitzer or defending tanks or a salvo. Honestly, I'm trying to think of advantages. I can't really think of a good advantage. Well, they do establish a relatively good fighting line. The line is spread out enough. Not a lot, but not a little. When a howitzer or tank is targeting you, they're only probably going to be doing damage to a few units at a time. So, with the squad divisions, man, I cannot talk tonight. I am so sorry. With the squad divisions, the advantages are your bunched up movement. I can't really show you this well on this stronghold I'm attacking, but there is a separate stronghold. I believe it is the helicopter stronghold, where there's a very tight margin in between 2 sets of minefields where you have to get your units in between. And I did experiment on that yesterday when I could attack all strongholds. If you have all your S-13s in one squad, you will not make that gap. You will be hit by those minefields every single time. When you have your squad split and your units stack on top of each other, I had zero problem. I could maneuver around the minefields just fine every single time. This can also go into play when you're attacking player bases. It helps you maneuver choke points more easily instead of having long trains of S13s trying to funnel through a choke point, you have all your S13s double stacked on each other rushing straight through. You can more easily navigate tight minefields because most players will have a weak side of a base, and on that weak side of the base, they make up for it by having most of their minefields there in an awkward position or just a position that seems to be impossible to get through. But a lot of times, if your squads are split and stacked on top of each other, you can micromanage your way through those minefields. The disadvantages to this method, though, is that your units are bunched tightly together. Howitzers do damage to almost every single unit that you have if you keep them in this formation, and that's very bad. Anything that does group damage, it will do a lot more damage to your platoon overall if you leave them in the stacked formation. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share this tidbit with you. It goes in the same category as micromanaging your units. If you are running with straight S13s, I would advise having two separate platoons, one platoon with split squads, one platoon with bunch squads, because there will be different types of bases that are easier to take out with one type or the other. This doesn't only apply to S13s, though. It also applies to any type of platoon you have, whether your platoon is heavier on tanks, whether for some reason you have a platoon with lots of Humvees. It applies across the board. So, yeah, that's it. I'm definitely going to be coming out with videos about the upcoming event. The news on it on Kixeye.com is a little sparse. We only know that we're going to be getting different level rewards for the Rogue faction. We don't even know how that's exactly going to work out, because the flash up on the screen that I got in game says that it's going to be random, like you're not actually going to be able to tell a difference, and you just have to attack them and hope you come across one of these bases. That seems a little dumb. Honestly, it really just does. Though I can see how it would make sense with the way the world map is, because if you have clearly labeled rogue faction bases of these new types, you would have massive battles over these single bases where you would have a platoon try and just lock it down, and it really wouldn't be any fun for anyone. So it's going to be a little awkward having to just randomly attack rogue factions, but it would be brutal trying to find clearly labeled rogue faction bases. We're just going to have to see how it turns out. Anyway, until next time, I hope y'all have an awesome day.